Now before we get into the video, I do want to say a massive thank you to today's video sponsors, and once again that is jerseyfifa.com. They really do help keep the content on this channel going, and they even sent me a free shirt which you can see on screen here. And as you can see, I got the new Manchester United home kit, and genuinely the kit really is top quality. I highly recommend their product. So make sure to get in a link in the description down below, and now if you use code jerseyfifa at checkout, you'll get 10% off your order. You get a great football shirt and you help support the channel, which I really do appreciate massively. Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel. I hope you're all well. Before we get started with the video, I just want to say please do make sure to press that big red button below the video to subscribe to the channel. We're currently racing towards 10k, and if we hit it this year then I might upgrade the camera, the mic and the lighting. So if you guys do subscribe to the channel, you'll end up getting better content as a result. But anyway, today we are talking about this man on screen here, Thomas Tuchel, and Chelsea, and their season coming up, how they're going to set up, all things like that. And the first thing to discuss is the shape, because with a lot of teams that I've covered recently, I've been able to say they'll play this formation, the fullbacks will do this, the midfield will do this, and I've had a degree of certainty with what I'm saying, whereas with Chelsea they're a little bit more unpredictable, because throughout the summer we've seen them linked with a lot of different players, which has led to questions over whether they're going to be changing shape this season, especially when they were being linked with both Koulibaly and Jules Koundé. My thought personally was that it would allow them to change to a back four. However, that didn't happen, so for the first game of the season we saw them in this back three shape. And this was pretty much the starting 11 for that first game of the season, and it's very much the same shape as what we've seen in the past. So first, I want to look at this shape and look at how it works, but this will be pretty brief because it is the same as what we've seen in previous seasons. So, as we know, Chelsea will want to play the ball out from the back, starting off with Edouard Mendy, and Chelsea are that good at playing the ball out from the back that against most teams in the league, they won't really face too much pressure. They will be able to progress the ball to the middle third, from where they then look to use a bit of a 3-2 shape, the wing back to push slightly higher, and then you've got Jorginho and Kante acting as your double pivot in midfield, and also Kovacic can come into the team, but for now it has been Kante with Kovacic having injury problems. And what this 3-2 does is it gives Chelsea quite a solid base to build possession from. Now, these two in midfield aren't particularly adventurous with the ball, they keep things pretty safe in possession. Kante will also be given the freedom to push further forward. But where it's interesting is the wider centre-backs. Now, we all know that last season Antonio Rudiger was playing this position on their left, and he was regularly striding forward through here to progress the ball for Chelsea, and I think we're going to see something similar from Koulibaly. Now, that works more if he's playing on the left side of the defence. However, that might change as the season progresses. But he prefers to play on the left, and it allows him to get into these positions here, and then on his right foot play forward from there. And we actually saw it in the first game of the season. He got into this sort of position here on the left wing, before then playing a pass in here on his right foot for Chilwell to run onto. And that led to Chelsea winning the penalty, which won them the game. So we can see what Koulibaly is going to bring to this team. However, as I was saying there is the potential for him to move to the right-hand side. And that would mean Azpilicueta drops out of the team, Koulibaly comes over to the right, and then Cookarea comes in at left centre-back. Now, as of yet, this isn't a position that we've seen Cookarea playing for Chelsea. However, he did do it for large periods for Brighton last season, especially in the second half of the season, and he was genuinely brilliant. And I think if this was to happen, he offers something slightly different. So what we see with Koulibaly when he plays this side, and Rudiger last season, is narrow stepping into this position. However, what we know Chelsea like to do with their wing-backs is occasionally move them into more inverted areas. Particularly down the right, we'll see Reece James come inside here, and then Mason Mount pulls wider. And I think we could see something similar down the left-hand side, with Chilwell coming inside. However, instead of Sterling now moving out wide, I think Cookarea is a brilliant option as a bit of an overlapping centre-back, who then almost converts into a wing-back to provide the overlap down this left-hand side, with Chilwell now in this inside position. Now, that might sound like a bit of an unorthodox role for Cookarea to play. However, he did do it at times last season, and in particular, if you remember the game against Manchester United, where Trossard was playing at left wing-back, he was regularly cutting inside onto his right foot, similar to what Chilwell would do here, playing narrower, and then Cookarea bombed round the outside, and he was absolutely brilliant, and tore United apart, so I think that could be quite an interesting dynamic. What that also does is gives Tuchel the option to play different personnel at left wing-back. For example, if we put Cookarea back here, we could see Chilwell come out of the team, perhaps Hudson-Odoi at left wing-back, because then he naturally wants to come inside onto his right foot, again creating that room for Cookarea to get around. And what this does is it creates a really nice little triangle here on the left-hand side, and it's really dynamic, and that's important in football at the moment. Chelsea have a lot of possession, they control games well with the centre-backs on the ball, the double pivot on the ball, but they lacked a bit of creativity in the final third, doing something like this, moving defenders about, could be a way to solve that issue. And I think it would work quite nicely. And then down the right hand side, it's more like Reece James and Mason Mount switching, with Kai Havertz also getting involved. And then that gap gets Havertz, Mount and Sterling into nice little pockets of space. However, they do also have a different shape that we saw in the game against Spurs. So when the lineups came out for that Spurs team, for that Spurs game, everyone had it set up as a bit of a 3-4-3 shape, with Loftus-Cheek playing as a right wing back down this side, Reece James at right centre back, and then Cookarea over at left wing back. And I can see why people thought it was that shape, but for me it wasn't. It was more of a hybrid. It was a combination of this back 3 formation, but also at times it became more of a back 4. Reece James would play right back, then we'd have our 2 centre backs, Cookarea was left back, and Loftus-Cheek was actually much higher. And what it's done was created more of a 4-2-2 shape. Like I said, it was hybrid because at times Loftus-Cheek was dropping in here, but a lot of the time it became a shape like this. Now this is a formation that Thomas Tuchel regularly used at PSG, where he done really well, and the attacking football was much better, and I really like the look of this shape moving forward. So the first thing that this shape offers is passing options on the ball. When you've got a base of 4 and then a double pivot in front, it allows you to move into a 2-4 shape, giving you plenty of players to take control of the ball. And again, in Jorginho, you've got a safe passer who's going to keep the possession for your side. Koulibaly is still given the license to step forward, as is Thiago Silva, but you've got this nice base 4 here. This is where these 2 inside forwards, the 2 number 10s, whatever you want to call them, that is when they really come to life. And Loftus-Cheek has been doing a brilliant job for Chelsea. At times, it allows you to drop into this space and get the ball here, but it also allows them to go out wide and provide the width for the attack. And again, when you've got Reece James down this side, he is a player that can come inside here or also overlap. As the game progressed against Spurs, we saw James getting into some really dangerous positions. And once he's in these areas, his delivery into the box is absolutely incredible. But what it does if you do the same thing on the other side, if we just move James deeper, if you do the same thing over here, Mason Mount moves in here, Cookarea pushes round, you've now got 4 players playing in the centre, 6 if you add the front 2. And most teams just can't deal with that sort of numbers. If we put a midfield 3 in here, we can see that Chelsea have the numerical superiority in this area, with Jorginho, Kante, Loftus-Cheek and Mason Mount regularly outnumbering the opposition, and it allows the likes of Mount and Loftus-Cheek to get the ball in these little pockets of space, from where they can then work the ball to the 2 forwards, and it becomes a much more dynamic attack. I like the back 3, I think it gives them defensive solidity, but this 4-2-2 gives them much more attacking freedom, and I think it's something that we need to see more. And Loftus-Cheek in particular deserves a lot of credit for making it work, and Tuchel as well, because it is quite clever. Now, on top of this, what we also see is that both Havertz and Sterling can also move into the channels a bit more. More so down this side, we'll see Jorginho fire a pass into Mason Mount, and then Sterling make a move round here or round here to receive the pass. I guess the question still remains, it's just that final pass from Chelsea. Again, this shape gives them a lot of control on the ball. The only question marks are over pure creativity in the final third. Now, Cookarea and James will provide that to an extent if they play this formation with their deliveries into the box, but I just think in the centre there's a lack of pure creativity. Jorginho and Kante don't really offer it, Loftus-Cheek doesn't to the standard, Mason Mount does, but the others don't really. Sterling's more of a goal scorer, and then Havertz is a bit more of a facilitator. Now, come the end of the season, the title and the thumbnail for this video was, can Chelsea make a title push? I just fear for them that this is where they are a level below the top 2, Manchester City and Liverpool. Those teams have Darwin Núñez and Erling Haaland, who will score goals this season, but they also have creative players around them. If we're talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold, Luis Diaz, Mohamed Salah, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Jack Grealish, players like that, they will create chances. I just fear that Chelsea don't have the proper creative players or the proper goal scorer in the final third. I think they're going to control a lot of games. Again, we saw it against Spurs at the weekend. Now, that Spurs side is a really good team, and we've all tipped them to do well this season. Chelsea made them look very average for a long time, and it was because of Tuchel's tactics, using this 4-2-2 formation really effectively. They dominated the game, however the question was still, could they break the Spurs defence down once they got into the final third? And ultimately the answer was not really. Obviously one goal came from a set piece, and then the other came later on in the game with a slight change of shape. So that is my question mark. In both formations, the back 3 and the 4-2-2, do Chelsea have enough creativity? I think they're going to be brilliant again this season. They're going to dominate games, take control, play nice football, and hopefully we see more tactical tweaks from Tuchel, because he really is genius with some of the things he does, particularly this shape. Hopefully that's something we see more this season, but I'm just not sure they have that pure quality in the final third to really challenge the top 2. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. 1, who do you think they could sign to bring that quality in the final third? or actually do you think they already have it? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.